Welcome back to the EAM Crypto channel. My name is Enrique. Thank you so much for watching. Today we get to talk to Shane. Most of you that know him by Madrid22. Very much a trusted name in DeFi. He's been around for a while, knows his way around the DeFi streets. He's actually not going to be on video today, so he is fully doxed and all that good stuff, KYC'd, all of that. But he's not feeling his best. We already pushed back this interview a couple days, and he thought, hey, instead of waiting another day, I'll just do the video I'll do the interview not on video. So that's why you won't see his face on the video. But yes, it is Shane, and he is fully doxed. All right, guys, so what is Vertek? So much to cover. We're going to really try hard to make this interview kind of brief and to the point, but we're going to hit on all the main points. These guys are a one-stop shop for everything. They will have a bridge. They will have a place to stake and to swap. They will have their own Perpetual exchange, which is really, really cool. Being able to trade Perpetual and futures on their site, very cool stuff. On top of that, they have a number of different options where you can stake a bunch of blue chips and a bunch of kind of like smaller, lesser known tokens as well. But most of you watching, you'll probably know most of these. And they have an NFT Marketplace coming up. They're gonna have NFTs. I mean, there's just so much to cover. So I'm just gonna shut up now and let's get into the interview with Shane. All right, guys, I did want to add one more thing before the interview, and that is this. With everything that we see happening with US regulation, with what SEC and Gary Gensler is doing, and just what we're seeing as a whole with decentralized exchanges and platforms having more and more say in what the future crypto looks like, it's solutions like Vertek that are going to lead the way moving forward. And not only from a functional use case scenario, but also from a narrative scenario. I feel very, very strongly about the fact that in the next bull run, this will be the biggest narrative and the one that makes the most sense. The more that actually has some meat behind it is being able to use decentralized solutions, exchanges, platforms, whatever you want to call it, like Vertek. So definitely wanted to add that piece in there because I think that this is a very, very important piece and step to where crypto is going. Shane also goes by Madrid22. Thanks again for coming back to the EAM Crypto channel. How you doing, my man?
Doing great, brother. Happy to be back.
Very cool, very cool. All right, man, we have a ton to cover. You guys have what I would consider a very, very robust solution, platform, project, whatever you want to call it. But you guys are kind of like a one-in-one shop. You have everything that someone could need that plays around with DeFi. We've talked a little bit about some of the issues that I've had in the past. In the intro, I talked about it. But yeah, man, it's very, very cool to see what you guys have created and are currently working on. So I wanted to just kind of get in there and start going on the details one by one because there is so many different things about your project that I think will bring value to anyone, basically anyone that's in DeFi. And even if you're not in DeFi, you're just an enthusiast of crypto in some way, shape, or form, you'll get value. And you should be using solutions like what Vertek has created. So Shane, if you don't mind, should we start off talking about the bridge since it's something that's already up and going? I'm actually pretty excited about.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me screen share that real quick. All right, man. So what makes your bridge very different than any bridge I've ever used is that you no longer have to hit up your friends on Discord or Twitter asking them for some gas. So I think that's really, really cool. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, brother. So, as you guys can see on his screen, you're able to actually choose gas on destination. So if you're going from BNB to Arbitrum, if you're going from AVAX to Phantom, whichever network you're choosing to go to, you can actually select to receive gas upon destination. So if you bridge over a nice bag of stables, you're already given the gas that you need to then go ahead and start trading, which is a fantastic addition. We've all been there where you're bridging back and forth and you've got to ask people for some gas, you've got to find a faucet somewhere, and this is really the pinnacle of what you want in a bridge platform, and we're really excited to be able to offer this to people.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Very, very nice thing to have. And look, I mean, bridges are something that yes, there's a few out there, but you know, I've had so many tough situations with bridges where sometimes it just takes forever, or
Mhm.
you don't know a bridge that well, so then you're kind of hesitant. So it'll be good to have a bridge with the rest of your solution where you're just not having to go to all these different places, connect your wallet to all these different places, which is a security vulnerability. And so, yeah, man, this is really, really cool. And I think that you guys are going to get a lot from this, especially because of the fact it's tied into so many other things. So, having said that, Shane, looks like perpetuals are coming soon. Tell us more about this. I'm actually pretty excited about this.
Yeah, yeah. Just a few more things on the bridge.
Yeah, sure.
So you can actually, let's say you're connected to BNB and you have funds on AVAX. You can actually bridge from those different networks without having to switch to those networks, which is also pretty novel. And I'd like to point out the fact that, in comparison, our bridge has the lowest bridge fees out of any other bridge that we've been able to find to compare to. So just wanted to throw those little bit tidbits in there. Really
Okay.
cool.
Very cool. Yeah, indeed. And we may have already covered it, but honestly, I don't know what it means. What does compossible cross chain bridge availability means? Compossible. I don't know that word.
Where do you see that?
It was one of the things that I saw in the notes, for you guys, so I didn't know if that meant
Oh,
something different.
that's referring to being able to bridge without having to switch to those networks. So like
Oh,
everything, it sees
got it.
everything.
Okay, cool, cool. I just didn't know that word. I didn't know it was something new that you guys also cooked up. So, all right, very cool. All right. So, yeah, let's talk about the fact that you will be able to do perpetual futures
Yeah,
trading. How are
yeah.
you guys doing that? What are you guys using on the back end, and how does that? Because I that seems like a pretty robust kind of thing to set up.
Mhm.
But looks like you guys are partnering with someone.
Yes, yes. So Apollo X, which is the leading liquidity host for perpetuals and futures trading, we've actually partnered with them. So some of the leading, the other large dexes that people are familiar with, mainly like Pancake Swap, they completely use the Apollo X liquidity provision and servicing. So we were very lucky to secure that partnership with them as well. Which basically means that you can come to Vertek, you can trade perpetuals, futures, do all of your DGen trading uh, in one spot, and so we wanted to create an ecosystem where you didn't have to go to different places to do things, and so that's getting launched here in the next couple days. uh, we're just doing a little bit of tweaking on the front end to make it look fancy, but you'll be able to trade up to 200x leverage. You'll eventually be able to use the Vertex token for trading and for discounted trading. So something really, really awesome, and very happy and thankful for that Apollo X partnership to be able to offer this feature to our community.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing. I had no idea that you can form partnerships like that to create that kind of platform, decentralized platform for features. So that's really, really cool. And yeah, I mean, everyone loves to trade futures, including me. So that's something very, very cool to see. So you kind of hit on something else while you're talking about the one shop. And it's the fact that you're also going to be able to swap on your with your solution. So you're going to have that piece of it taken too. What are some of the details with your swap solution, and what is going to be the what are you guys going to offer as far as availability of how many tokens?
Yeah. So as far as the swap features, so we have balancer V2 tech and smart order routing. So essentially, uh, this gives a user the best possible rate or price uh, by routing through multiple pairs before you end up at your final destination, right? So, for example, where you see on your screen, those are all the different pairs that it's routing through to give you the best price impact and bang for your buck. And traditional or older dexes and liquidity routing, it would not go through as many steps, and you would just be stuck with the price impact of one to the other. Versus here, we use this smart order routing, which really benefits the user by helping you guys save money by not paying more for trying to buy through a low liquidity pair. It's similar to if people are familiar with Firebird or yield aggregators or DEX aggregators. We're aggregating ourselves essentially versus having somebody else do it for us.
Fantastic. All right, so there's yet another piece of the all-in-one shop, which I love. And then I think the next one that would probably make sense to cover is just the NFT Marketplace, which is coming soon.
Yes.
Yeah, Shane, tell us more about that piece.
Yeah, so the NFT Marketplace, again, we secured a really terrific partner with Moonflow. And our NFT Marketplace launching on BSC will be powered by Moonflow. They help with development, things like that. And it will be the first gasless NFT Marketplace on BSC. So you'll be able to list, buy, interact on the marketplace without actually having to use gas, which is tremendous. That's something that nobody has done on BSC, and I don't believe it's been done elsewhere at all. So
yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you of anywhere I've heard it on any chain. So yeah, fantastic stuff. And then how does the NFT collection play into everything?
So Vertek is releasing its own NFT collection, which will obviously be listed on our NFT Marketplace. If you head over to the Stake tab, you're going to have various options to stake your Vertek rewards. Now, you don't see it updated on the UI just yet. It will be here in the next probably 48 hours, but you will be able to stake your NFT for an APR or yield boost, which will be substantial. So if you mint an NFT, you will be able to stake that NFT and get a substantial 50 to 60% APR boost compared to somebody that's simply staking Vertek. Alongside that, in our NFT collection, we're actually going to have battles. It's going to be basically an NFT battle in each one of these staking pools. The NFTs will receive a random attribute for attack and defense. And so when you go to stake in these different pools, some users will have higher attack, some users will have higher defense, and there will be an additional gamified APR boost on top of just staking the NFT. So if you're in a pool and your stats are beating the other stats, you're going to get an additional APR boost on top of that. So there's a bunch of different layers and gamification additions to the NFTs that are going to make it a lot of fun for you to get NFTs. You'll be able to buy potions to boost your attributes and stats so that you can dominate a staker pool and receive more APR at one time. We wanted something interesting, not just, we thought that the APR boost from the NFT was really, really cool, but we wanted to add something even more on top of that to gamify it and for people to enjoy not only buying their NFTs, but interacting with their NFTs down the road by, being able to buy potions, increase their attributes and be rewarded for doing that.
Mm-hmm. When are the NFTs going to be available?
This week. We're going to be releasing the mint this week.
How many?
It is a 1,000 collection. The mint starts out at 0.5 BNB, and then every 250 mints, it is increased by 0.1 BNB. And that also during the first 250 minutes, there'll be 5 random mentors that win 1 to 2 BNB a piece as well.
Okay. Very nice. All right. So this week, but you don't know what day yet. Just this week.
Yeah, just this week. We're shooting
Okay.
for Friday
Okay.
to start the mint.
Okay.
But we wanted to have the staker page and everything up for the utility of the NFT prior to mint.
Got it. Okay. Now tell me about the centralized bribing of liquidity pools. What is that all about?
Right. So um, the emissions for Vertek are completely decentralized, right? So we as protocol leads or developers, we cannot choose which pools receive the majority of emissions or where the emissions actually go. That is all controlled by the Volta. That would be in the vote tab. Now, the way that that works, each epoch, 65% of the emissions are sent to the Volta lockers. So users that lock 80% Vertek and 20% BNB, they are given V Vertek, which then has a variety of different applications and benefits. So one, as a V Vertek holder, you receive 65% of the emissions up no matter what. That 65% of the emissions for each epoch are directed to V Vertek holders. Then you're able to vote, and different protocols value your vote because that is the only way that they are able to receive emissions. So you can see that Shield of Singrage, Defender Finance, they have already started to bribe voters by giving up cash rewards. So they've put $500 bribes on each of their pools. If you vote for their pool, you're given a cut of that bribe. So not only do you get 65% of emissions, you can basically sell your vote to get cash straight up. And then on top of being able to receive bribes, as a V Vertek holder, you're able to receive up to 2.5 times APR boost compared to somebody that does not have a V Vertek holding.
Okay. Okay. Got it. That was a lot to cover, but I think I got it.
I hope
Makes
I didn't
sense.
slam through it too quick.
It's a bit. And guys, if you have any questions or any of this doesn't make sense, I mean, Shane is super easy to get a hold of in Discord. I will have the link below to Vertex Discord, and you can find out anything you need to because we covered already a number of things, and then we talked about boosts from the NFTs, very different than the boost with the Vertex Volta. So yeah, there's a lot to cover. But Shane, I know you're very easy to get a hold of, and you have
Yes, sir.
a few colleagues that are always on Discord that I noticed. So easy to get the answers you need. All right. So I think the other thing I wanted to ask you about is the limitless options to customize liquidity.
Yes.
What is that all about?
So that's something really, really cool for developers, protocols. With the balancer tech, you're able to uh, create liquidity pairs with up to 8 different tokens. So if you're a developer or I mean even just a general user, you can create a multi-token pool if you want to put Bitcoin, ETH, BNB, Dogecoin, Phantom. You want to put all of those into a liquidity pair. You're able to do that seamlessly. Now, and if enough people like your pool, you might end up actually getting some votes to have it as a core pool and receive some emissions. But
Okay. All right. Very cool. And then talking about some of these different pools, the one that kind of stood out to me the most at first was the blue chip buffet. You have ETH, Bitcoin, BNB, the three big boys. Um, pretty bullish on all three long term, especially for the next bull run. And then you guys are offering a sick APR, man, 27.53. That is just kind of hard to ignore. That is a pretty big APR. And then you told me that there's also something that you added where you kind of swapped out the BNB for Vertek, and that one has a crazy APR of like 200%, if I
Mhm.
remember correctly. Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit more about all the different pools? The blue, look, Shane, I guess it can be tough with what happened last year with all the different solutions that turned out to be just bad actors, bad,
Mhm.
just poorly run businesses. And, we all know about them even before FTX. And, I think a lot of people are a little hesitant to sometimes use some of these solutions. So what would you say to them in regards to that to kind of calm some of the fears? And yeah, tell me more about these different pools and options.
Yeah, so I think that, in my personal opinion, uh, we decentralized exchanges need to be more utilized, right? I think that everyday users and investors are starting to see some of the uh, the setbacks of using these centralized exchanges. So what we want to offer is for you to be able to use the same investments, the same. If you're bullish on Bitcoin, if you're bullish on Ethereum, we want to give you a solution that you're able to stake and earn with those blue chips alongside of the eventual upswing in the market itself. Some people buy ETH to sell ETH when it gets to 2K. Some people are buying Bitcoin at 15,000 to sell it at 23,000. Well, you can do that and also uh, earn real yield by farming and basically providing liquidity to some of these decentralized exchanges so users can buy and sell Bitcoin as well. You earn hefty swap fees while you're still holding on to your blue chips, right? And I think that's probably the greatest thing about some of these pools is it gives those bullish blue chips exposure to some of the more degenerate minded people that were just doing nothing but investing in tomb forks and phantasm forks and ohm forks. You don't have to invest in those in order to earn substantial yield. You can simply invest in blue chips and people will come. People will want to buy and sell those same tokens, and by being a liquidity provider you earn swap fees every time somebody buys or sells Bitcoin. If you're in the blue chip buffet, you earn swap fees every time somebody buys or sells Ethereum because you are a liquidity provider. And on top of earning those swap fees, we give you Vertek emissions for providing that liquidity as an extra reward on top of that. So it's really, really great exposure for a seasoned investor and even a new investor.
Yeah, for sure. And as far as the APRs, there is kind of like a wide gap there. Why is that gap so big with basically all the different pools?
Yes, so that is the Volta boost. So the minimum, the first one that you see is the bare minimum that you could receive. If you have a V Vertec or Volta holding, then you would get the higher or within that range. So it's showing you what a non V Vertec holder would get and what the max APR boost would be. Like for instance, on my screen, I have a pretty decent sized V Vertec holding. So when I hover over the sparkles, my personal APR is the max for pretty much all of the pairs.
Got it. Okay. Very, very nice. All right. And yeah, that three amigos, wow, that APR. Good God.
That's that's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
All right. So I see a lot of names there. So that's very cool. Yeah. And then are you guys gonna be adding more and more as time comes? Or are you guys gonna kind of stick to just these pools for now? What does your roadmap look like?
So we're going to be adding more and more pools. We have a large list of top shelf partners, very large names that are coming on board to take advantage of the balancer tech. We've had, I would say, probably 10 different partnerships with some of the biggest names in crypto ready to go. So we'll slowly be adding more and more pools for those partners. We'll obviously add more pools that people are favorable for, that they may want to see. We might throw in a GMX pool or something like that. But you
Yeah.
never know. But we definitely going to continue to build on the different LP offerings for sure.
All right, so you touched on GMX. So, obviously, those that got into GMX early are doing very, very well. They're very happy, obviously, and GMX did a really good job. Shane, I think GMX, what they did best, I mean, it's not like they offer something that you can't get somewhere else, right? There's plenty of options there, but I think they did a really good job with their marketing, getting their name across, and they kind of, I think their execution was just flawless with their marketing, and I think that was
Mhm.
the biggest piece of it. So having said that, obviously, you're on my show. That's one way to get the name out. What
Mhm.
else are you guys gonna do to really try to get the name out so much? Because you guys are more than a GMX, right? You offer so many different solutions. You really are all in one shop. So it's something that should be able to get a lot of usage. But the big piece about crypto is just getting the word out there. So what does your roadmap look like in regards to trying to get the word out as much as possible about what Vertek can offer?
Right. So we are now beginning, now that, obviously when you first launch anything, no matter how much testing you do, you're always going to have some slight bugs, some slight UI fixes, things like that. Now that we've kind of, narrowed down, at first, the first day the APR didn't show, right? Like, and so you can't really market, a pool that's got 500% APR, but when somebody looks at it, it only showed five, right? So
Yeah, of course.
now that we've kind of gone through the first week of doing all of the little UI bug updates and touch ups, now we're going to really move towards a very hefty marketing campaign. So, for EAM community members, you guys are the first stop. So if you guys get in, you start looking around, uh, everybody else that we're going to be marketing to is going to be coming behind. So we're going to be making some very big moves on Twitter. We've already got large Twitter spaces sponsored. We're going to be holding Twitter spaces. We're going to be holding multiple AMAs. We've got various YouTube influencers that we're going to be reaching out to. I try to stick to the ones that I personally think are the most informative, versus just trying to, grab anybody that would do one, which is why you were the first on my list. And
Thank you, thank you.
but yeah, so we've got a widespread of marketing that we're now able to push, now that we've got our product more refined, and able to for people to just really get excited about. So
No, that's good. That's good because if you come out too early, too strong, and you're not totally ready for it,
mhm,
you may never get over that, right? Because then you'll be remembered for that, and the first impression is usually the most long lasting impression. So I think
absolutely.
you're thinking it right, playing long term, and hopefully now things will kind of stabilize with the markets.
Mhm,
I think there's still so much that's up in the air, Shane. I think short term things look pretty bullish. I think actually.
mhm,
Short term, but then, kind of like mid long term, is a recession coming? Will it come in 2023, or is it going to be one of those that doesn't come till 2024? There's just so many different things to kind of look at. So it's good that you guys are kind of taking it slow, taking your time, and making sure that you kind of build a nice foundation. And I hope that crypto as a whole kind of learned from what happened in 2022. In 2022, we kind of realized that the games that were being played, just they weren't going to last, right? It wasn't a
mhm.
sustainable model, and so hopefully everyone learned their lesson from that, and we won't see all this kind of contagion happen throughout crypto, which affects everyone, whether whether you had funds in any of these other assets, whether it was Anchor or ecosystem or a platform like FTX. It didn't matter. It affected us all. So hopefully
Yeah.
we all as a whole learn from that. So I think we kind of covered most of everything, Shane. I did want to get your thoughts in regards from kind of regulatory and legal perspective.
Mhm,
It just seems to me like even if you're forget the folks that are in DeFi all the time, even if you're just
mhm,
kind of like just kind of dip here and there with crypto, and you're not really sure how much to it you want to be, and it's not a big part of your life or your investments, it seems like going decentralized is going to be the only option. What we see happening from Gary Gensler and the SEC going after all these centralized exchanges,
Mhm.
it seems pretty clear that decentralized is going to be the only way to go, making it
Mhm.
kind of almost a must to use solutions like what Vertek is doing. I also feel that from a narrative perspective, I feel very strongly about the fact that in the next bull run, that's going to be the biggest piece of the narrative. Maybe it's AI. Who knows? I am still having a hard time seeing how that one makes sense, but I think it's going to be solutions like yours. What are your thoughts on all that? How much did that play into you guys actually coming up with Vertec? And how do you plan to maneuver around any of the weird things the SEC is doing because of the fact that they're so unclear?
Right. So, I definitely feel the SEC is they're reaching. I definitely think that they're trying to get their hands and you can't really fault them to a degree because they were pretty hands off on FTX and some of these larger bodies that because the SEC wasn't involved, you saw a complete and utter collapse of the market because of mismanagement. You had a 20-year-old kid with billions of people's dollars, and he's able to just do whatever he wants with it. So I think that has kind of called their hand a bit. So I think that their response now is to because they weren't being as aggressive as maybe they should have been with some of those larger regulatory bodies. Now they have to be overly aggressive to kind of make up for some of that slack. Um, do I think that I think a lot of it is not very um, warranted. I don't think that some of the just like when they went after Ethereum, that we all knew that that wasn't going to really play out, but they still tried it, right?
Hmm.
Um, and that kind of keeps people on their toes. I definitely think that like you said, this push from them is definitely going to have people focusing more on the decentralized exchanges because that's what we're all here for. And I think the biggest hurdle for decentralized finance is to get the retail investors that are using those centralized exchanges to even know that they're out there. Right? There's so many users that know nothing about crypto other than crypto.com or just Binance itself. They have no idea that these decentralized exchanges exist. And so I think that that's on us, the users that are already in DeFi, to kind of spread the word and have a good product for them to come to. Right. That was kind of our main uh, drive for Vertek is when these retail investors do come, you want them to have a great place to go to. Right. You don't want them having to go to 15 different websites, like how we all started out. You wanted to bridge, you had to go here. If you wanted an NFT, you had to go here. If you wanted to swap, you had to go there. And if you needed gas, you had to ask a buddy on Discord, right? And so
Yeah.
I think that that's our biggest motivation for Vertek is offering a great product for when those retail investors do get into DeFi. The first thing they see is an all-in-one.
Hmm.
I don't have to go anywhere but Vertek, and I can do everything that I need to do in DeFi here, and not have to worry about some of those other regulatory bodies messing with my money.
Yeah, no, you guys cover it all. I was trying to think before we talked. What's that one big piece of the pie that you guys don't have covered? Honestly, the only one I can think of really is that you guys don't have a kind of like an onboard, offboard kind of ramp from from crypto to non-crypto. Is that something that you think you guys may add in the future?
We actually have partnerships secured, and we will be implementing a fiat on ramp. It will be a non KYC on ramp as well.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay, nice. I didn't even know the answer was going to be yes. Very cool. Yeah, it looks like you guys have it all covered. Yeah, and then as far as your bridge, I should have probably brought this up, but I didn't want to interrupt you when you were talking. When we were talking about the bridge. Bridges is where a lot of the issues happen, right? That's where some of the hacks happen. I was bridging money. That's how I lost, almost 1,000 USDT couple months ago. So what are you guys doing in regards to trying to do the most that you can with security and like for example, like the links to your bridge? Should viewers know that you guys will never post that, like you'll never like send that out on some kind of like tweet or anything like that? Because I know that a lot of the times that happens with Twitter where someone fakes your Twitter account. So what are you guys doing as far as security with the bridge?
Yeah, so obviously we're not going to do anything crazy like tweeting tweeting links and things like that. We want people to come to the platform of the exchange itself, and then they're able to go and access those bridges. The bridge is powered by Stargate, very very large entity that keeps security at the forefront of what they do, and it's pretty immutable. There aren't many there's effectively no back doors or any type of security risk. Obviously, you can't guarantee uh, anything, but as far as what can be done, everything has been done to give our users security, their fund security, and not have to worry. And that's one piece of not even having to switch your network, right? Like when you're able to bridge back and forth, the more pop-ups you've got when you're completing transactions, that's where hackers try to take advantage, right? They try to get you to approve something or switch to a RPC or a network that
Yeah,
may
that's
be
it.
vulnerable.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, no, you nailed it. Yeah, well, that's good to know. And yeah, man, I think we covered a ton. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I thought was a must to cover. I can't think of one. Can you think of anything else that we should tell the viewers about that we haven't covered?
No, I think we've done a good job of kind of circling uh, the different features that Vertek has to offer, and some of the value propositions that we've got for investors. I think that all in all, we've done a good job of uh, putting out a great product, and I think that we've covered. Obviously, we could talk all day about each one of the products themselves, but I think we've done a good job of giving a nice general overview of the features that are there and the features that are yet to come. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I can't think of a single one. Shane, usually I start off AMAs by saying, tell us a little bit about yourself. But I mean, you've been a part of DeFi for a while now, and I think most folks in DeFi know who you are. But for those of you that don't, I mean, Shane's been around for a while. He's definitely a very trusted name in crypto and DeFi. Knows a lot of people, as you can see. He's kind of used his network to kind of already leverage that to kind of bring in some partners early on here with Vertek. I'm going to assume you're going to keep doing that, leveraging your name and networking to bring in more partners to your ecosystem. So I like that because it's always good, especially for something like this where we might be parking some Ethereum, some Bitcoin, some BNB long term. I think it's good to do it somewhere where you trust the folks running it. And but maybe real quick, Shane, as far as your partners and your team, can you tell us a little bit about them?
Right. So the team, we've got NP, nice person. He's the other team lead. He's been in the space for a very long time as well. I'd like to point out that we're proud of what we've built. Like you said, it's important for people that invest to invest, and not just you're not just investing in Vertek. You're investing in me and our team. And too often I see a lot of these projects come out, and the all the accounts were made, you know, 15 days ago, and
Hmm.
somehow they've got $100 million, and I'm like, well, that's crazy to me because this person didn't exist a couple of days ago.
Right.
So NP, he's the other team lead. We've got four different developers on staff. Briz, who's just, he's just a god coder. He's brilliant. He does a tremendous job. Jumpman, the best front end developer I think that there is in the space. We've got Mr. James. We've got Simba, who are both full stack, can do either or, and really just kind of support the dev team where needed, when needed. We've got Fox, who is an excellent business developer. Ayush, who's an excellent business developer. We've got Kuel, Sweetox, Quartz. Those are also core team members that have been in the space and supporting. They come from some of the Tomb Fork backgrounds, and
Which we love. We love
obviously,
Tomb Forks.
yes, we do. But obviously, Tomb Forks haven't done so well in the past, and I think it's a very large testament to team members from previous projects or projects that maybe had a little bit of downfall that stick around and they work to provide solutions. They don't just pack it up and say, well, this didn't work. They keep working and they keep putting in the time and the effort to not only support their investors that trusted them, but to give their investors some value, give them something that they can, earn rewards with, earn yield with. And I think that that's probably the greatest thing about it is we've all been through, the Tomb Fork seasons. We've been through the bull runs. We've been through the bear market. And right now, I think everybody's kind of on the fence on whether we're going bull, we're going to stay bear. But at the end of the day, these teams, this group of people have worked through all of it. And I think that that's a great testament of who we've got in our garrison, in our brigade. And I think that that's very impressive because you want people that have been there, done that, made mistakes in the past, learned from mistakes, learn where things can be improved upon, and aren't just kind of figuring it out as they go. I think that that's probably the greatest thing that we've got going for us is the experience.
Yeah, experience counts, and also you're kind of trusted, been around, so we know you're not going anywhere. So we like that, and look, I do think Tomb Forks will have their day in their sun again. It's just a matter of when, but yeah, we'll see about that. All right, man. Well, I think that kind of covers it. Shane, so much for coming to the channel. I think it's a very, very cool thing that you guys are building. It's obviously huge. And it'll be interesting to see how you guys add more and more to it. But you guys heard it with the onboarding and offboarding that will be coming soon as well, which will pretty much cover all the major points. So yeah, congrats on building a very, very, very cool thing here with Vertek. And yeah, man, thanks for coming on. And guys, thanks for watching. And again, everything as far as information and links will be below. Go hit up Shane and that pretty big team on Discord. They'll be able to answer all sorts of questions. And maybe they could even give you more detail in regards to the pools and what makes the most sense based on, what your idea is of what you want to get out of your investments. So Shane and DGen Plays, all of it. It's all here in DeFi. So Shane, thank you so much for the time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, brother. Catch up with you.
Bye, everyone.